Let us know if we're live.
Yep, will do. I just need to be sure. Yep,
Let us know if we're live.
yep, we are live.
Alright, transitioning to the live scene now. Alright, Leah, go right ahead.
All right. Welcome everyone to Serenity Spring Festival 2025, day 4 of another day 4 of live streams. So, of course, we are doing Ask Omochao live stream today. You guys are more than welcome to ask Omochao questions, just as long as it's kid friendly. Okay, we don't want to be going to teen adult questions, please. So please keep it kid friendly. And yeah, all right.
Indeed.
I will fire off the first question, Omachel. I'm very curious. Why did you replace Cream in Team Sonic Racing? I'm very curious about that.
Hey, I wanted the more live, well, in a way, more screen time. Getting to race with the others, and actually showing that I can do more than just, give information. I wanted to show that I can.
Interesting, interesting. Because I was just so mind boggled and confused when that happened. It's just so weird. It's like I think like everyone was surprised because when you hear Team Rose, you think like Amy, Cream, and Big, and then it's like Chow. You're like, wait, Cream got replaced by 4 Chows?
Well, technically, they got replaced by, well, by a robot child that can actually, keep an eye on them because they can't drive. And since I am a robot, I have all types of information on how to drive.
Mm, that's understandable. um, but yeah, it's just very interesting. But I'm very curious. Tell me, Omachal, how did you get into I know in the IDW comics you actually were like an announcer. Um and I saw that like literally the Phantom Rider kind of grabbed you and what were you feeling at that moment?
I don't want to talk about that.
Uh that's understandable. Phantom Rider didn't really treat you well, did they?
No. They just grabbed me, thinking using me as a cameraman to just broadcast everything without even asking politely.
Mm, gotcha.
Even robot cows have feelings,
Mhm. It's just very, very interesting because when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, I wonder how Omichao felt about that." But it's understandable if you don't want to talk about it. Um, but I'm very curious though. How like do you happen to know when it comes to yeah. When it comes to actually being an announcer, like, how did you land that job for, like, sport events?
Well, for me, it was kind of easy thing to do because I can actually sound loud enough for them to actually hear me, and plus I can be in multiple different places. As some of you may have not known or may know, I am mass produced. I'm everywhere and anywhere.
Mhm. Yeah, that's totally understandable. Yeah, you definitely have, like, an announcer voice, you know? It's it's just very interesting because I can tell that that looks a lot of fun to be an announcer for the sporting event.
It was.
It's just so interesting that you get like a gig like that.
Funny enough, if I remember correctly, in Sonic Riders, I was also somewhat the commentator.
Yeah. Like how do you feel to be a commentator during Sonic Free Riders?
It wasn't just Free Riders, it was like all of them. I was in Sonic 1 as well. Well, Sonic Riders 1. You can hear my voice in it.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, that's true. I can't believe I forgot about that. I think it was like it was more prominent because at least in free writers, you can clearly, we can clearly see you,
Yeah.
like actually doing all the like, but I can tell that was very like daunting in free writers for you because of the fact that, I think like Team Dark just wasn't taking it seriously and they just got like a random robot to join their team for free writers. And and Team Rose was like very like unorganized.
I'm surprised he didn't feel so comfortable with that, considering that he had Omega, who is a robot.
Hmm. Absolutely, yeah. It's but I'm very curious, what's the difference between being an announcer and a commentator?
Well, aside from it, no, nothing events, what's going to be happening and whatnot. Yeah, commentator allows me to, describe and, tell people what's going on, because, again, with me being able to be anywhere and everywhere, we're practically watching the entire thing instead of just, like, seeing it from the camera, like the video footage. You can really describe what's going on.
Mm, interesting. Because that looks a lot of fun whenever I see like announcers and commentators, like they really enjoy their job, and and it makes a lot of sense why you why you actually got the gigs of being like an announcer and commentator. Because when I see it at like real life, like when you watch like sporting events, like you can see how loud their voices, how passionate they are about the sporting events. And
Indeed.
yeah, it's just very interesting, to be able to. So I'm very curious, what advice would you give to people, if they ever do like announcer or commentator gig like you have?
All I can say is when it comes to both and being an announcer and commentator, make sure to give your actual emotion expression of how what you're saying instead of just like reading it off the script or something. Really say it from the heart. And as Rich
Mm,
known to me, who doesn't have a heart. I'm a robot.
yeah. I find it so interesting, because I've seen it on TV and it's like, wow, like especially even during like gaming tournaments, they have like those announcers and commentators as well. And it's such an interesting thing. Like it really got me interested. So and to know that you've actually done gigs like this, Omochao, is just so phenomenal, you know.
Indeed. Honestly, I would
But
love to have more gigs like this. Just like when it came to Team Side Racing.
mhm, yeah. It's just very, very interesting to see that, you get to do stuff like this and, who knows, maybe someday I might be doing something like that too.
Hmm.
You never know. Um, but I'm very curious, what what did you do during when the metal virus arc happened in the IDW comics? Like, where were you when that happened?
Honestly, I have no memory of what happened.
Oh, interesting. You have no memory? I
No.
wonder how I wonder how does that work though?
Honestly, even I don't know.
Mm. Yeah, so do you think maybe your memory was like tampered with maybe? Because I thought I know the metal virus was like a worldwide thing, so I thought you would have at least known about it, so
It
I
could have
was
been
con
tampered with.
gotcha.
Because even in the later comics, I still have no memory of it. Just being my usual self.
Mm, very, very interesting. Because I know like a lot of individuals were like affected by it, but I'm pretty sure I don't think robots were affected by it because they're not like organic beings.
No.
So, I find that so interesting. Very, very interesting. So, so you basically have like no idea what happened. Like you don't know from what led from that point to, to the end of it. Interesting.
No. Hello, prankster.
Mm. But I'm also very curious also about but when it comes to what is the most exciting thing about, being a commentator, for sporting events?
Like I said before, being able to actually not only, say, like, express what I'm seeing, but being able to actually be, like, right there and getting to see the action, getting to say what's going on, instead of just, like, being in one spot and sitting there during the entire thing.
Mm, gotcha. Oh, okay. Looks like I see a question in the chat from Prankster to Omochao. If you could change your one purpose in your coding to anything else, what would it be? Ooh, that's a great question.
Probably the one thing that a lot of people would want. And honestly, I would want it too because I really don't want to be treated like how I am normally. And fix the
Mm,
annoying function that I have in my programming.
mm, very, very interesting.
Because maybe
Yeah,
if that was fixed, I could be in more games.
mm. But I'm very curious, Omochao, who actually created you?
Sega! And yes,
Mm,
Sega did create me. Why else would I have all that knowledge?
mm. Because I wasn't sure if you were made by Eggman or by some other scientist.
No, the only scientist we know of is Eggman, and you can already see that Eggman even gets annoyed by me. And
Mhm.
plus, I wouldn't be useful for him.
Mm. Yeah, it's very interesting, for you for what you can think. Oh, hi,
Hmm?
Sage.
Hello,
Hello.
Sage.
Hello, greetings.
Yeah, we're doing an Ask Omochao segment. I'm pretty sure you have a
Oh.
question for Omochao.
Let's see. A question. Well, it's a little difficult. We are in close proximity to each other on a unfortunate daily basis, but I don't know if I have many questions that I don't already know the answers to. But maybe something creative will be up my alley.
Mm,
Let's see. Oh, now I recall. I believe you carry a microphone on a lot of occasions. You work as an announcer and a commentator. I was wondering, I've heard of this activity that some others have done. I think it's called karaoke. Would you happen to participate in that? I hear, well, those who enjoy their voice often enjoy karaoke. From hearsay, anyway. Is that something that you participate in?
I do, but by myself. Not a lot of people like to hear my voice.
Hmm.
mm,
What are your
very.
favorite songs to sing?
I would say undefeatable, breaker it all, and find your flames. Or flame.
Oh, okay. All good choices.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tracks.
I find that very interesting because I just wondered, like that was a very great question, Sage, that you asked. Because like I always did wonder, like since you always have a microphone with you, Omochao, like it makes you wonder if Omochao does karaoke off screen.
Mm. It's an interesting hobby. I just wondered if Someone who obviously partakes in doing a lot with their voice obviously would partake in a hobby that does the same thing.
Absolutely, yeah. Because when you do karaoke, you gotta have a microphone.
That
Indeed.
is essential.
Yeah.
I believe that's all I had to ask, though. I will take note of this. We will come back to this.
I will
Ooh.
look forward to seeing that.
I appreciate you, Sage, coming on to ask Omochao a question.
Absolutely. Sorry to intrude.
Oh no,
All
you're all
good.
good. All right. So, yeah, you guys are more than welcome to ask Omochao questions in the chat as well. um, but I'm my next question for you, Omochao, is if you what are what are some flaws that you can clearly see with Sonic? I'm very curious.
There's too many flaws to really go off on about Sonic. Like, for instance, his cockiness, him getting himself in trouble, his friends in trouble, almost hurt. In the worst case scenario, and judging by from what you were telling me about the metal virus that was a worldwide spread, something tells me Sonic had something to do with that.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, Sonic has Sonic has like a lot of flaws with his personality. It's like you said, he could be cocky, or sometimes he gets his friends into trouble, and danger. Which is totally understandable. Um, ooh, okay. Oh, hi, Kevin. I see Kevin in the live stream chat.
Hi, Kevin.
Oh, Kevin has a question. I'd like to know, has Omochao done anything to drive Sage yet? What?
Not really. I haven't really interacted with Sage that much to really get on their nerves.
Yeah. Yeah, literally like Sage was just here like a few minutes ago and they had a casual conversation. um but it's just but that's a really great question because like we haven't really seen you two interact that much. So I don't know if the question can really be answered as of yet until we actually see like interactions with you two more.
Indeed. And I'm pretty sure if I was interacting with Eggman, he'd probably punch me before I can even actually utter a sentence.
Mm, yeah. Kevin's comment, hearing that in Omacha's voice made me laugh. But who knows? But I'm very curious, Omachao. Have you done anything to drive Eggman crazy? Because I'm pretty sure, like you might have. I just have like this thing. You might at least drive Eggman crazy.
There was a time where I had an IQ test with him, and we tried to do like I ended up answering more questions than he could. I think I won by 1,200.
Ooh. Oh
Like I
my.
said, I have more knowledge than him.
Which is very ironic because I think Eggman has like a 300 IQ, I believe, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Like because I can tell like if you drive like cuz Eggman I think is like probably the easiest person you can annoy.
Trust
But
me, after I won the contest, he actually did put me out of his face.
yeah, like um I'm also very very curious, so Michelle. Have you I'm very curious, have you ever tried to what was it? Like have you ever tried to annoy maybe Orbot and Cubot? Have you ever annoyed them?
Yeah, but he didn't really mind too much, considering he doesn't really have a brain to really annoy. Well, what about the pretty much the good man and just ask me to leave?
Mm. Interesting, interesting. Because I can tell, because I can tell, maybe you probably get along with like Qbot, more because Qbot is kind of the one that annoys Eggman, and it's probably on the same level, if anything.
There are times when I do hang out with you, but on occasions when he's not around or about or Eggman or Sage or Metal Sonic.
hmm Oh, okay. I see another question in the chat by Dave K. To Omochao, do you ever plan to join the Eggman Empire? If so, what upgrades would you have?
I'm
Ooh,
pretty
interesting
sure
question.
I'd get rejected before you actually joined. Because if I got upgrades, yeah, that would make Eggman even more angry to the point where he might try to destroy that one unit.
Gotcha. Very, very interesting. Uh, but I'm very curious. I know in that Team Sonic Racing Overdrive animation in episode I saw that you literally had a bomb and you you literally threw it at Sonic. How did it feel to literally throw that weapon at Sonic? Omacho? Omacho? You there?
Sorry
Uh-oh.
about that, mic issues.
Ah, gotcha.
But I did hear your question, and my answer is it felt nice getting to let out all the rage I had. You forget,
Hmm.
all Omochaos share one memory bank. We know what you.
It probably must have felt good to like throw something at Sonic.
You have no idea.
Oh,
Just
yeah, like
remember, we're always watching.
oh yeah, absolutely. Omochao is always watching. If anything, it's just gonna be very I was pretty surprised, but then again I was like, well, like you guys are racing each other, so it makes sense. Oh,
This is
Infinite. Hi. Hi, Infinite.
Hello.
Yep, I can hear you.
Yes, not many can nowadays. Greetings, Omochao. I have a question for you.
Oh, and what's that?
Thus overhearing that you have thrown a bomb at Sonic, enticingly to hurt him on purpose. I applaud you for that. Ah, yes. Tell me, if you could act again, would it be a bomb, or what other form of weapon would you choose? And would you intentionally?
Probably Cube.
Ooh, a cube? What?
Oh my, oh, that would be painful.
It would.
Isn't it pretty much all the Wispin weapons, like when they're used as weapons in TSR, aren't they all painful though?
Yeah, they are.
Do you have any other questions, Infinite?
No, that is it for now, but thank you for your time, and thanks for answering the question, Omochao. And hope you just seen throwing a cube at the boy. And farewell.
Take care.
Farewell, Infinite. Ooh, okay. Looks like I do see questions in the chat for you, Omachel. This is from Silver 18. Oh, To Omocha, how does it feel to be a part of Team Rose with Big and Amy? Great question.
Honestly, it felt fun. Getting to be able to be a part of the team, even though it was only temporary from what I've seen in the newest game in Crossworlds. I don't get to make that appearance again.
Mmm.
Only as a commentator again, as well as a infobot.
Mm. Yeah, that's true because you could possibly be a playable character again. You were in TSR,
Yeah,
so
but it
I
was
wouldn't.
a team racing game. There's already a child there with Cream, which is keys.
You never know. You never know because I don't know if they're going by the team dynamic again.
They're
It's
not.
probably just.
It's every racer for themselves.
Mhm. Yeah. But if you are a commentator, like which characters are you excited to see who actually become racers in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds?
Honestly, aside from characters that were already in previous games that I have met, like Babylon Robes, there's one character I don't think I want to get to know too much. And that would be that character named Zaz.
Mm.
I heard he's a little weirdo and a crazy loose cannon character.
Mhm. Yeah, because it makes you wonder if the other Deadly Six are going to be playable because we've seen Zabok and Zaz, and you do wonder if the other four are going to be playable as well. It makes you question it too.
Hmm. Also, considering I've never met Charmy and Espio during the previous games, I wouldn't really know much about them either, so I wouldn't really know how to feel about them. I'll probably get annoyed by Charmy, who seems to have too much energy.
Mm. Yeah, finally we actually I was so happy we finally got Charmy and Espio as playable characters in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. It's kind of like finally, if you know what I mean. Like they were never playable in any of the Sonic Riders games or anything.
Or any other racing games.
Yeah, it's like I'm just so happy they're actually taking the time to actually include them because it's like it just feels so weird. Like if you just have Vector, it's like, wait, you would expect the other two to be involved, but it's like now this Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is literally the one that yay, we are finally getting them as playable characters. So it's just so great.
Indeed.
Oh, okay. I see another question in the chat by Dino Kaiju. Hello, Omachan. Question for you. If you know almost everything that's happening, how come you didn't tell Sonic and the others about Neo Metal during Sonic Heroes?
Thing,
Oh.
thing is, there are some things I wouldn't even know. There are some events I was never a part of, let alone ever informed of. Like, for instance, Neo Metal, as well as his return, as well as the Malwires. I have no memory or recollection of any of those events.
Mm. That's understandable. Yeah, like you may have all this knowledge, but you're not basically a time traveler or anything to predict that, oh, this was gonna happen, unless if you're some kind of psychic or something. um so oh, okay, I see another one in the chat by Tails Code the Fox. To Omochao, do you ever plan, I guess, to destroy Sonic? Interesting question.
Um, I was thinking about that probably a bit too much.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know why they asked that question. I know the question I asked was I was just curious how it felt to throw a bomb at Sonic.
As well as Infinite's question about the other wisp.
Hmm. Is because remember, when you're racing against other people, you have to be in first place. no matter who it is.
Indeed.
So like think of it as just like Mario Kart. It's like even if you're friends, even if your friends are allies, you can't really because you literally have to come up with yeah, like I said, you literally have to take out your competition. It's like you may be friends or allies, but hey, it's you know um every racing game is pretty much you're facing against friends anyway, so
Right.
it just it just makes a lot of sense. Ooh, okay. I see another question in the chat by Silver180. To Omachow and the IDW comics, the Chow racing, what are your thoughts about the competition of the Chows, I guess, racing against each other?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt them. They could have a little fun. Plus, it's cute to see the Chows, play with each other, especially in races.
Mm. Oh, hey, Sonic.
Hey,
Hello, Sonic.
oh, it's you. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Just having this brand new chili dog. Mmm.
When are you not eating chili dogs?
Mm. They're very good. You gotta try them one day. Mm.
You forget
I,
I don't have a mouth to eat.
yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, wait, like, I don't think Omachow can even bite down on food or anything, to my
That
knowledge.
is true.
I can't eat at all.
Which comes to my question.
Hmm?
If you turned into a living chow, what would your new name be, and what food would you eat first?
Good
Ooh.
question, actually. Honestly, I wouldn't even know what my name would be. Probably still
Hmm.
stick with Omochao, because I am still technically a Chow, just a robotic version of one.
Mm.
Mmm. Okay.
And as for food, yeah, good.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I thought you would call yourself, like, Larry or something.
Why, Larry?
Larry the Omachow.
No,
No?
no.
I think it sounds pretty cool.
Why would I be called Larry? Why Larry of all names?
Okay, do you want to be called Bob?
Now,
How about Steve?
you have 5 seconds to run before I throw this bomb wisp again.
I don't know how that's very difficult because like literally Omachow does bring up a good point. Like if Omachow actually became a real live Chow, wouldn't it just be Chow? Like if you remove the Omo part of Omachow's name? Like um I think like a better question is what type of Chow would you be if you were like a real live Chow, Omachow?
Honestly, that's also a good question. There's multiple different types. Hmm,
Mm,
I guess I'd be stuck with a neutral shell look.
neutral Chow,
Mm,
gotcha.
okay.
Yeah, because I know there's different types of chow. We've seen it in the media. Like they literally have one that
Mm,
kind of looks similar to knights, you know, looks like a gesture. And then I think I've seen chow that looks like you, Sonic.
yeah.
um, and then I've seen, of course, the neutral chow that Oma Chow mentioned. And then there's like hero chow, and then there's like dark chow. There's like many different types of chow. So, but I would
There's
say
even
neutral.
there's even been modified versions of myself that look like Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm very curious, Sonic. I actually asked Oma Chow this earlier when you weren't in here. Um, were you like horrified that Oma Chow threw a bomb wisp at you in the TSR Overdrive animation?
Well, of course. It's a scary situation. Anything with Omochao is terrifying. Anything with this robot is terrifying. Just hearing him speak is terrifying.
Thanks for the compliment, Sonic. I'll keep that in my memories.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Like he says, he knows everything and seen everything.
I'm everywhere and anywhere, Sonic.
Wait. When you say everywhere, does that include when I'm in the shower?
We don't talk about
Ew.
that.
Okay. That's going a step too far.
Yeah.
I don't think
Well,
Omochao
you
would
said
go.
everywhere.
I
Sonic,
think it's when,
stuff.
like, maybe out in public, but not like, when you're
Even
doing.
I don't go that far.
Good. Because
Because
when you
when
say
you.
everywhere, that kind of freaked me out.
Yeah, we all saw in that TSR Overdrive animation where Omochao was literally throwing a bomb wisp at you, and Amy just had that glit in her eyes. um, but I'm very curious, Sonic. How come you didn't just spin dash at it or something? Because wouldn't that have been easier, or would that be considered cheating since you're like racing or something?
Yeah, there was rules. We had to stick by the rules. If I spin dash and smacked it back, it's kind of me jumping out of the car, so kind of breaks the whole thing, you know?
Yes, this
But
isn't Sonic R, where you're in instead of driving.
Yeah, because like if I remember correctly, since you didn't spin dash it, Sonic, Knuckles jumped out of his car and punched it though. Wouldn't that wouldn't he have gotten in trouble? Wouldn't that be breaking the rules or something? Or
Yeah, but that's Knuckles for you. He doesn't really think straight.
He doesn't think at all.
Exactly.
because like you said, there was rules against, I guess, using your powers while you're racing. Is that what it is? Like you can't use your like abilities at all during racing, I'm
No.
presuming.
Yeah. It's because I'm
Mm.
already fast. I don't need a car, you know? I could just run through the entire track by myself.
Yeah. But I guess, they're like, Sonic, you need to play fair, so you gotta be in a car.
Exactly.
Because I can tell that was like, well, I remember when I watched that animation, I could tell you were like scared, and I kind of figured that, yeah, if you use your abilities, you probably might get disqualified or something, right? If you tried to
Yeah,
hit the
pretty
bomb.
much.
Yeah, I'm presuming Knuckles got disqualified after doing that then?
Yep. You got disqualified.
Well, technically,
Mm,
he's not really using his powers. He's already had super strength, one out powers.
that's true. Because
So
I
technically, he didn't
I
get disqualified.
yeah, because I don't know the full extent of the rules. Because apparently Sonic, Sonic could have easily used a spin dash to at least like hit the bomb away from him, but Sonic said there was rules on that, so um but I'm guessing since Knuckles was using his like arms, I guess it's okay. I don't know, but Sonic said that Knuckles got disqualified, so
Well, you don't know for sure if he did.
yeah, I think
Well,
that's
I
more.
was there. I saw Knuckles get, like, disqualified, so he was told off.
Oh, what
Okay.
was it? Was it the Dampa, I'm presuming, that told him?
Yep. Pretty much.
Mm. Yeah, because I think, to be fair, because like easily if you and the other Sonic were able to use your abilities, then you would be able to avoid getting hit by weapons, on the track. So I guess maybe the dump was like, yeah, you can't use your abilities because it would be unfair. Which is
Yeah.
totally understandable, if anything. um but do you have any other questions for Omochao, Sonic?
Nope, that's all I have.
Thank you for your question there, Sonic.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Well, I'll see you around.
Bye, Sonic.
Take care.
Ooh, someone did mention that I think yes, Silver 180 said, can you be a healing Chow if you were like an actual real Chow?
I could definitely see that, considering that I'm definitely considered to be like a guardian to them, since I'm always around cows. Whenever there are cows, I am there.
Hmm. Okay. Because I don't know the full extent of like Chow's abilities. Like I kind of know like maybe from my knowledge of like maybe Sonic Chronicles Dark Brotherhood, because you can attach Chow for like abilities. So but I don't know if there was such thing as a healing Chow, but probably it because it's been like a long time since I played Sonic Chronicles of Dark Brotherhood. So um but yeah. I think it's just very, very interesting, because you can pretty much be any child that you want, but just to be on the specific, you can be the neutral. Because of your color scheme, like you are pretty much like the color scheme of like the neutral chow, you know.
Indeed.
hmm But I'm very curious. Do you use like oil, like in case if you're like run, or do you run on like a battery? I'm very curious, so much how.
Well, technically, I don't really run on anything. I do have the gear on my back, which actually allows me to move. Illinois, I have unlimited energy.
So is it you're kind of like a wind up toy, that wind up toys that have like that thing in the back?
Yeah, it just only needs one wind up, and I'm good to go.
I'm very curious. How many days can you last until like someone has to like wind you up again?
Mm, honestly, I can last as long as I can. Until I probably get badly damaged, or if the cog on the back of me gets, removed.
Mm. Because I always did wonder about that. 'Cause I know like most of Eggman's robots, they probably run on oil maybe, or they probably run on like, those cute little animals, which he always tends to put in like his basic robots. So that's what I was curious about in your case, so Michelle.
I don't know about his newer robots, but like Omega was the only one that actually ran on chaos drives that allowed him to move. As for his newer robots, it's hard to really know.
hmm hmm Yeah, absolutely. Like I was just very curious, but um like I'm just curious about the spinning thing on your head, Omochao. What does that do? Does that have like a function or anything?
No, it allows me to fly.
Oh, it allows you to fly. Gotcha.
Unlike normal cows who can normally fly, I don't have wings, so I was built with a propeller on my head.
Okay, that makes sense now. Yeah, because I was like wondering, I'm like, wait a minute, how does Omochao fly? And then you said your propeller makes you fly. That makes a lot of sense. But I'm also very, very curious. What are your thoughts on like when you were like frustrated with Team Dark in Sonic Free Riders? Like what was like going through your head when you had to deal with like their, you know, with them not really taking it seriously?
Well, Rouge, I wasn't really too upset about, because at least she actually, notices me sometimes. While Shadow, on the other hand, yeah, you can already know where I'm going with that.
Mm, like yeah, like Shadow tends to just ignore, if you know what I mean. Like
Exactly.
he just has this tendency to ignore people. Yes. That's understandable. Um because I know with because I know with Shadow like you could say he's like, I don't really know if it's, he's like antisocial, like he just prefers to get down to business, I guess. you know. Oh, okay. I see another question in the chat by Cutie Cat. Hi, Cutie Cat. To Omochao, what's 0 times 0?
Wait, what?
Uh, that's literally Cutie Cat's question to Omochao. What's 0 times 0?
Wouldn't that be 0?
Yeah, that was their question. I'm just looking in the live stream chat. That was literally their question. I don't know, maybe if she was trying to troll you or anything, but that was her question.
That's kind of a weird question.
hmm Yeah. Oh, okay. Kitty Cat said, wait, no, 0 divided by 0. Oh, I guess that was a typo.
I'm pretty sure it'd still be 0.
Oh, hey, Orbot.
Hey, go to the hill.
Hello! Yes, I'm a huge, huge fan. I love what you do, Omochao. I'm a huge fan.
Oh, you got a fan here, Omochao.
Now that's surprising.
Yes, you inspire us robots to get out there and do great things.
You're not joking, right?
I'm not joking. I'm serious. I've been the Joker type. That's Cubot.
That's true. Orbot brings up a good point. Cubot's the one that's mostly the dumb one out of the two of them.
I'm honest, and I just wanted to say I'm a huge fan of your work, and I have one question to ask, which is, what advice would you give to bots like myself who want to do what you do, giving helpful advice and all that stuff?
Ooh.
I guess my best advice is, well, just do what you want to do. For me, I'm literally free up and to win, just like Sonic. Yes, with a few limits, but I still try to do my best to give the best advice I can give.
Mm.
Well,
That's
it's something.
Yeah. I'm very surprised, Orbot, that you're a huge fan of Omochao because, like, most fans really find Omochao annoying.
Yes, which I don't understand. Omochao is a great robot. He's helpful, he's inspiring, he gets the job done, he's there to support you, he's there to help you all the way.
Mm. Yeah, that's true. Like, like sometimes, like I remember I played like recently the remaster of Sonic Generations, Sonic X Shadow Generations, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's been a long time since I played Generations. You really are helpful, Omochao. in in telling me the buttons. I'm like, oh yeah, now I'm and then it helped me get back into the groove. If anything, like I love your helpful advice because sometimes, if like sometimes I get very rusty when playing Sonic games, so I'm like, oh no, I don't remember the controls. And then at least when you're there, you have the option to turn Omachao's like helpful advice on or off. And I'm like, I always gotta have it on because sometimes, like I said, I tend to forget the controls. um Very helpful. Um, but I'm very curious, Omachao. Like like um since you were like giving the tips and advice and how to play the game, like um what are your thoughts on white space pretty much when Eggman trapped everyone in white space?
Honestly, aside from the zones that Sonic goes through as my other versions of myself there, it felt kinda lonely because I was the only one who was stuck in the white space, while the other ones were everywhere in the zones.
Mm, gotcha. Yeah, because like
Mm.
because I always did wonder that, like, I understand, you're there to, like, teach the player how to play the game and stuff, but it's like, I wonder what was like, being trapped in white space because everyone was just like, like the main characters, they were like trapped in, I guess as a statue or something and stuff. Because I know Orbot, you and Cubot were like where Shadow was, like in white
Oh,
space.
yes.
Like,
Yes.
I found that very interesting because I was like, because we see in in the main story of Sonic Generations where Eggman just left you and Cubot when he discovered the time eater, and then and I always did wonder, what happened to Orbot and Cubot? And Shadow Generations gave us the answer, and basically you and Cubot were like building a rocket, I guess, to escape white
Yes.
space.
A rocket to escape the white space. Yes.
Didn't that rocket turn out to be a alarm clock?
hmm Yeah, I'm wondering, Orbot, did that even work? When you got that rocket? It's like all the pieces from Shadow?
Yes, it did, actually. We went out of this white space and we ended up somewhere else, which was more white space. So we went somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think a rocket can escape white space, I'm presuming. I'm presuming when Sonic defeated the Time Eater, everything went back to normal. And where did you and Cubot end up though?
We ended up in this weird, like, like, kind of like a swamp zone. We were getting chased by these giant beetle bugs and everything. It was quite weird.
Mm, interesting. Because I know you pretty much just like gave Shadow an assignment. Like, was it really hard to find all those pieces and you kind of just relied on Shadow because Shadow's like can find them 10 times faster than you in Cubot?
Yeah. Also, Cubot didn't want to move, so it's just I'll have to do it by myself. So I thought if we get Shadow to do it, he can do it really quickly, and we can build the rocket and start moving. Because Cubot
Mm.
was just so lazy, very, very lazy.
You could say both you and Cubot were pretty lucky Eggman wasn't there to like tell you what to do or anything because Eggman already had his plans to rewrite history, pretty much.
Yes, yes. It was a nice break from the Doctor.
But then, like, when everything went back to normal, well, gotta go back to Eggman now.
Yep, he was back to the chores, scrubbing his back, cutting his nails, brushing his mustache.
Wow, Eggman's really that lazy? He doesn't even brush his
Very
own.
lazy, yes.
That's
Wow.
crazy, especially coming from Eggman himself.
Like,
Mm.
I'm like, the mustache, shouldn't that be his responsibility? Because he wants to rock the stash, if you know what I
Well,
mean?
he has a very specific way he wants the mustache to look, and the only way to do that is for us to do it for him. He doesn't seem to trust himself to get it just right. He's very specific.
So considering one little slip up could end up costing you this mustache.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
Definitely. Like, I know for a fact that, like, I'm very curious, Orbot. What was your reaction um, when you saw that, one side of Eggman's stash was like cut off in the at the end of Lost World? What was your reaction to that?
Oh, I thought it was hilarious. We were laughing to ourselves, even though he was really angry. But we were just cracking up, me and Cubot. And we're just like, you know what? I think the Doctor should trim his mustache more often.
So are you saying he's gonna look like Gru from Despicable Me if he didn't have the
Yes, I think he does, actually. Yes, I agree.
stash?
It suits him very well. There's his cosplay sorted.
Yeah, like he doesn't really need to do that much. Gru is bald too, and all he has to do is just take off the goggles.
Yep, and change the clothes.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm very curious. This is both to you and Omochao Orbot. Like, what would your like? What would who would you cosplay as? I'm very curious. Like, it could be any character from any media.
Ooh.
That's actually a tough one. Actually,
Hmm.
I'd probably cosplay as Happy from Fairy Tale.
Ooh, very interesting.
I would
Ooh.
cosplay as a famous person. I would cosplay as Keanu Reeves.
Is he
Oh
voice
wow.
shadow?
Not
Very
just because, yes, he voiced Shadow, but I think I would love to cosplay as him, walk around as John Wick, wear that suit,
I wonder
try and
how
have a magnetic beard.
I'm just wondering how would that suit fit on your like your body structure though? Because isn't it you're supposed to have like legs?
Yeah. How would you even do that?
We would just have to
Yeah.
customize one, buy an outfit from like Build-A-Bear or something, and wear the little outfits.
Yeah, because I know both you and Cubot, you don't have legs, and I'm like, well, you need to have like legs to wear the suit
Hmm.
properly.
I guess we could walk on stilts. That could work.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But wouldn't you have to have like mechanical legs to like work the stilts? You know, because I've seen
That
how
is
stilts
true.
work. I seen people walk with stilts, and it's like, yeah, you need two legs to make that work. And I would say the only compromise is if you kind of attach like mechanical legs to your body structure, you know. um,
Hmm. Yes, I would do that. I'll ask the doctor to give us some mechanical legs.
Let's just
because
hope
I,
he actually does it.
mhm, yeah.
Was that?
I was saying, let's just hope he actually does it. You forget that this Eggman we're talking about.
That
Mm.
is true. The boss does seem to not favor us as much as his other bots or Sage.
It's probably because, Sage gets the job done, so,
But
like,
we
I can
do. We do. We do his mustache, we do the cleaning, we do the cooking, we do everything for him.
mm, but
I guess we're
does
just servant bots.
yeah, I'm kinda presuming that's what it is,
Yeah, I can
'cause
definitely see that.
because I'm presuming Sage doesn't really do any of the stuff that you and Cubot do, right? Like, she kinda does more of the technological stuff, because
Yes.
so maybe, Eggman doesn't want Sage to do the stuff that you and Cubot do, you know? And that's why she
Hmm.
was basically programmed to, like, be digitally enhanced and stuff and be able to problem
Yeah.
solve, so I think he's, like, just far more technologically advanced, you know?
Yeah, I
So
would say so. Plus, the boss does see Sage as a daughter, and Metal Sonic as a son, and me and Cubot, we're just trash.
oh, do you need
Oh,
a hug or do you need a hug, Orba? I'll give you a hug.
you might be
Aw,
willing to give
thank
me a
you.
hug.
Oh, yes, a hug from my big fan. Yes.
Come in here, Omochao. Orba
Come
needs a
here.
hug.
Aw, thank
Mm,
you.
No problem.
yeah. um, but I want to thank you, Orbot, for popping in and asking Omochao a question and making Omochao's day and surprising Omochao that you're a fan.
Oh, yes,
Agreed.
definitely. But before I go, could I have an autograph?
Yeah. Where do you want it on?
Too?
What?
You sign this photo?
Here. Here you go.
Thank you very
And
much.
here you go.
Right, I'm going to put this on my wall. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
And unfortunately, we will have to end this Ask Omochao live stream segment. I want to thank you, Omochao, for being a part of this for Serenity Spring Festival. It was a lot of fun asking you questions.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I want to give special shout outs to the VAs who participated in here. Of course, Chris VA as Omochao, Glitch Kitten as Sage, Whispering VA as Infinite, and Andrew HVA as Sonic and Orbot. And of course, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Be sure I'm going to be telling you guys right now what's going on for the rest of week 2 for Serenity Spring Festival. Tomorrow, April 10th at 5 p.m. PT, 8 p.m. ET, I will be doing a special live stream with Frax Sonic deals in the life of a Sonic collector. And if you tune in, Frax may be doing a giveaway. To participate in the giveaway, be sure to tune in tomorrow. And um, and then I have like on I have and then yeah, and then on Sunday, yeah, April 13th, I at 2 p.m. 5 p.m. ET is Legacy of Scooby Doo Twitter space. And then wait, let me check. Yeah. And then I did post week 3 I did post week 3, which I have on April 14th, at 3 p.m. PT6E is a miraculous chat with the Cartoon Hotspot Twitter space. And yeah, be sure to tune in that. And then on April 15th at 5 p.m. PT, APT is Nostalgic Cartoons with Leah and Kevin Twitter space. And then I have on April 16th is the next episode of Sonic Lore with Radar. Episode 8 and Sonic Boon or Archie Sonic comic lore. And then on April 17th at 5 p.m. PT, 8 p.m. ET is Guess Everything Sonic through emojis. So if you want to play that, I'm going to have a game where you guys get to guess whatever it is in Sonic through emojis. And then on April 20th, at 5 p.m. 8 p.m. ET is Got a Spotlight with Leah Serenity Rose, episode 34, Q&A with Emsberry. So if you guys have any questions, be sure to tune into that. And then I have the first 2 come for week 4. On Monday, April 21st, 5 p.m. PT is Sylvani questions. For them, here's your chance. It's gonna be hosted on my Twitter. It's gonna be hosted on my Twitter space on my Twitter. And don't subscribe and turn live streams and video content. And be sure to the rest of my spring festival. Bye everyone.